guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan. I own a screen print shop and embroidery shop out in West Texas. Today we're going to talk about contract work and if it's worth it. I'm going to explain what it is and why we take it on. First, really quick, if you're new to the game and the term contract printing or contract work is confusing, all that means is we are printing for another print shop. Maybe another print shop's overflow, maybe for a broker, and just someone who handles all the customer side of things, but they don't actually print the jobs themselves. They already have the client, they already sold the job, and we're the production shop doing the printing. And honestly, kind of the fun part, right? All that customer back and forth can be a real drag sometimes. And when I say retail work, I'm referring to our own customers, our own markup, and our own full service job. We did the quoting, we did the artwork, we did the mock-up, and now we're printing it and shipping it, all for our own customer. That's retail custom work. And the distinction between them two is usually retail work is higher margin, higher paying jobs. So if retail work is higher margin, better paying, why would I mess with contract work at all? That's what I'm going to cover in this video. But first, let's talk about today's video sponsors. Offering online stores to customers is a huge way to boost sales. For example, if you're running an online store for a school and y'all have already decided on a design, the garment, on that online store, you can add a couple different garment colors. You can add a couple different garments all with the same design. So you can have a long sleeve on there, a hoodie, a crew neck. So when the group members go online to the online store, they can have multiple options to weigh against. So giving you the chance to boost sales simply by adding a couple more options of garments on the online store. And here at my shop, we use Inksoft to run all of our online stores. I've been using them since 2018. The stores are super simple to set up and they look fantastic. Click the link in the description to get 10% off your subscription with Inktavo today. All right, guys, last but not least, this video is brought to you by Fabric.Ink. Fabric is an executive coaching program built specifically for shops like you and me, screen print shops and embroidery shops. When you join Fabric, you get paired up with other similar shops your size, and once a month y'all meet and y'all discuss what's going on in your shop, what's going on in other shops, and it's a huge, feels like a great therapy session where you can offload and you hear others offload of what they're going through. It makes you feel like you're not alone because you know running a print shop is intense. There's ups, there's downs, there's peaks, there's valleys. And having a group like this to check in with once a month is huge. And lastly, the accountability part to Fabric is huge. I've checked off so many random little things I had on the back burner because I set it as a goal inside of Fabric. If that sounds interesting to you at all, click the link in the description, hit apply today, and join many other shops who are looking to level up their shop. Now let's get into today's video. Because real life inside of a print shop is different than a spreadsheet. So on paper, contract work can look weak, but in real life, idle presses are expensive. Idle labor is expensive. A team with nothing to push through is expensive. And for a long time, I looked at contract work too simply. I would compare one contract job to one retail job and think, this doesn't make any sense. Why on earth would I do this low margin work when I could be chasing better paying jobs? And to be clear, that instinct is not wrong. That's 100% right. The way I see it, if my shop was completely slammed with high margin retail work all year long, I would 100% pass on contract work. I would not even consider it. It would make no sense to fill my calendar with low margin when I have high margin work. It would just be flat out stupid. But that's not the reality for most shops. The reality, at least for us, there are a lot of times during the year that we can take on more work. Now, September through November, usually very, very busy, and good luck trying to get us to budge on price during that season. But outside of that, there's the rest of the 70% of the year that we can handle much more work. There are definitely stretches throughout the year where I've got equipment, payroll, and production capacity that can take on much more. To give you a general number, over the last 12 months, we probably have done around $80,000 in just contract printing. And that number matters. In most of all those cases, those contract jobs, the customer supplied the blank, the broker or the other print shop supplied the garment. And on top of that, they're paying for the cost of the screen, either $9 to $10 per screen. So this isn't a situation where I am burying myself under garment costs and pretending that the numbers were better than they were. This is real money hitting the bank account, and that money helps pay for software, that money helps pay for the subscriptions each month, that money helps cover payroll, that money helps cover fixed costs in the business. So it's kind of a huge deal. And sometimes people, including myself, will only evaluate the job based on the margin, the percentage, and completely forget about the fact that a business has bills every single month, no matter what. The business overhead, the fixed cost, the payroll, all that does not care if your retail orders are slow or not. Payroll doesn't care, software doesn't care, utilities don't care, the bills keep coming. So if you bring in some work, bring in some money that helps cover the overhead during slow periods, that's real value. Now, I know there might be a consultant out there, someone thinking like, if you're slow, then get your production team on the phone, banging the phones, cold calling, cold emailing. And if you can get that out of your production team, I'm all for that. 100%, I agree with them. But I guess you have to evaluate your team members, what they signed up for, their cadence, their demeanor, who they are, if they're down for that or not. So I think where a lot of people miss the point, because they look at contract work and they say, yeah, but the margin isn't amazing, and that is totally fair. But compared to what? Compared to a great retail order? Sure, fully agree. But compared to the press sitting there doing nothing, compared to a slow week with the same payroll, compared to a team dragging out 3 jobs to fill their day because there's not enough on the production board, the comparison starts to look very different. And for me, that's a big mindset shift. I stopped asking myself, is this as good as retail? And I started asking, is this better than nothing and better than dead time? And that's a very different question. Because if the alternative is that the schedule has room, the team has room, and the equipment has room, then a lower margin job can still be a very smart job. But honestly, the money is only part of the story here. The reason I still take on contract work is because of what it does to the pace of the shop. I've got full-time printers, and if retail slows down, I do not want them stretching 3 jobs across an entire day to fill their hours. That's just a bad habit. That kills urgency, that slows down people, that over time it can make the whole shop feel softer and slow. I would much rather keep the press spinning, the team moving, loading garments, printing, offloading garments, stacking, counting boxes all day, every day. That's one hidden value of contract work. It exposes the weak points in your production. When you're hammering jobs through, you can see what's failing, you can see where the gaps are, you can see where the bottlenecks are, and you can attack those points. I look at contract work and I think it makes us more efficient, makes us faster. It helps tighten up our processes and our operations in ways that would be hard to do if you don't have that level of production hitting your schedule. And that matters because a faster, sharper, and more disciplined shop helps us on the retail side too. So even though contract work might not be the best high margin jobs you can take, to me, I think it still makes your entire operation stronger. But with all that said, I want to be very clear about something. I'm not saying that every shop should take on contract work and chase low margin work. That's silly, do not do that. And that is not the point of this video. And I'm also not saying that all contract work is good work. There might be a contractor out there that strings you along, doesn't pay you, has terrible communication, doesn't actually drop good artwork to you. All that's not what I'm talking about. Those shops and those contractors can kick rocks. So again, this is not me saying take what you can get, not at all. What I'm saying is that sometimes shop owners talk about low margin work like the answer is always no. And I just don't think that's true. I think the better question is, what season is your shop in? What does your capacity actually look like? Again, if your retail schedule is overflowing with work, your team's doing overtime, you can barely keep up with the work you have, then yeah, taking on low margin work is a bad choice and do not do it. But if you have room, like my shop has room throughout the whole year, then the math starts to change and it can make more sense. One last thing I want to touch on with contract work. To me, I think it also really creates proof. What do I mean by that? I mean, when your custom retail customers see stacks of boxes, stacks of shirts, the press is spinning, the team is moving on Instagram and on Facebook and your stories, to me that really, I think, is valuable and tells a story to your customer. It signals to your customer that the shop is active, that people trust you, that you can handle a large volume of work. And that's something that I really want to do more on our social media, show our customers that, hey, we're here, we're mixing ink, we're printing t-shirts, we're stacking boxes, we're shipping out orders. I think that really matters. I think it builds confidence in the shop. I think it builds confidence in your team. I think it builds confidence in your customers, knowing that you can handle the work. Yeah, so to wrap it all up, here's where I'm at on contract work. Yes, the math looks terrible compared to a retail job. If your schedule is overflowing with retail work, don't even think about contract work. If you have a bunch of fixed overhead though, and you have a lot of capacity that you could take on more work, I say go for it. I would 100% not advise to build your whole shop around contract work, because if they disappear, you could be stuck with a ton of overhead, and that is scary to me. For us, contract work makes up about 20% of our business, so that's not 50 or 60% of our business. So if it was to disappear overnight, we would still have our own customers. So for us, yeah, sometimes the smart decision is to keep the shop active, to keep the shop moving, to keep the press spinning, and to us, we see value in it. So if you're a print shop, I'm curious what your take is on this. Again, I'm probably going to side with you and say yes, if you have a lot of retail work, don't even consider contract work. But if you don't have someone out there banging the phones, banging the emails, and really bringing in retail work all the time, then maybe the contract work can help fill in the gaps during the slow times. All right, guys, hopefully this video shed some light on the industry, shed some light on how we operate here, and hopefully you found it interesting and insightful. And if you did, please like this video. It'll mean the world to me, and please subscribe if you have not yet already, and we will catch y'all on the next one. We'll see y'all later. Bye.